We begin the story during the winter in the snowy region of the Catskills, New York. Four women arrive at a quiet, empty inn to spend some time together. The group consists of Ruthie Nod and her partner Cal. Along with them are their friends Maddie and Molly. The hotel originally belonged to Ruthie's grandmother and later passed to her mother. Now Ruthie and her mother have some plans for the place. Ruthie hoped her mother would already be there, as she was living in the hotel, but the building was completely empty and there was no sign of her, which instantly left Ruthie worried. The group came for a relaxing trip, but Molly's behavior had been peculiar from the start, and Ruthie never had a good impression of her. Maddie explains that Molly recently recovered from cancer, which may justify her odd behavior. Ruthie then goes to a room and watches an old training video on hospitality. A woman dressed in red gives a presentation on hotel management. While watching, Cal joins her. Their conversation reveals that Cal wants the two of them to reopen and run the hotel together. However, Ruthie actually planned to sell the place but hasn't made a definitive decision yet because of Cal. Everything seemed normal at first. Later, the group goes swimming and jokes about ghosts. Suddenly, a man named Brian appears. Ruthie is not pleased to see him. He was her mother's ex-boyfriend and came looking for her, but Ruthie insists her mother is not there. Brian points out that her car is parked outside, so she might be in her room. Still, Ruthie asks him to leave, and he exits without arguing. Outside, Brian checks the car, but it is locked, and he finds nothing unusual. Meanwhile, Maddie and Cal talk privately. Maddie confesses she has feelings for Cal, and it is revealed that Ruthie once cheated on Cal. Despite this, Cal still wants to be with Ruthie. Ruthie continues texting her mother, frustrated for not getting a response. Later that night, Ruthie wakes up to a noise. She goes downstairs and sees the front door opening and closing by itself. Finally, she locks it and goes back in. As she walks through the hotel, Ruthie thinks she sees someone dancing in the hallway to her mother's favorite music. Thinking her mother has finally arrived, she rushes to hug her, but it is just Molly. Both feel awkward, and Ruthie gets irritated. She turns off the music. Molly asks why Ruthie is awake and mentions noticing that she used a medical mask earlier. Ruthie is confused and asks if Molly went into her room. Molly tries to get closer, and Ruthie angrily pushes her away. Molly ends up cutting her leg. Feeling guilty, Ruthie cleans the wound, while Molly takes some pictures of her. For a moment, the two seem oddly close. The next morning, Ruthie wakes Cal and informs her that her mother sent a message saying she won't come. Both are disappointed. They wake Maddie quietly so as not to disturb Molly, and the three go to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. When Molly wakes up alone, she becomes nervous. She looks outside and sees two girls running. Downstairs, she suddenly notices people eating in the restaurant, even though the hotel has been closed for a long time. The guests seem peculiar, and when Molly asks about Ruthie, no one responds. Then she notices a girl with injured fingers. The girl calmly says, "Sometimes you can't feel your fingers." Perplexed, Molly steps back, and in the next moment, the entire area becomes empty again, as if no one had been there. Molly becomes extremely frightened. It could be a hallucination, possibly caused by her injury and a slight fever. The other three women are in the kitchen when they hear Molly screaming. They rush to help her and find her crying and terrified. She claims she saw something. The others assume it was just a nightmare, especially since they discussed past deaths in the hotel earlier. Ruthie suggests to Molly that they can call a car if she wants to go home. They think the medication might be affecting her mind, and Molly feels ashamed. Later, Ruthie leaves a voicemail for her mother, asking her to stop sending messages and explain why she isn't coming. Ruthie also spots a girl running outside, which unsettles her, but Molly distracts her. Ruthie wants to tell Molly that what happened the night before doesn't matter. She doesn't appreciate her while Molly clearly harbors feelings and even admits to trying on Ruthie's mask. Ruthie insists she should stop going into her rooms. Molly's behavior begins to appear erratic. Cal arrives, and the two interrupt their conversation. Even Cal notices that something is off. Molly asks if someone died there. Maybe a young girl around 9 or 10 years old who suffered something with her hands. Cal is shocked and reveals that something similar happened to Ruthie in childhood. Her mother often left her with babysitters, but on one occasion, Ruthie was left alone in the hotel for 3 days during winter without electricity or food. Her fingers suffered frostbite, and she almost lost 3 of them. Cal mentions that ever since Ruthie's mother talked about the hotel's will months ago, Ruthie has exhibited different behaviors. This makes it clear that Ruthie's mother wasn't very kind, and her childhood was likely difficult. The group doesn't take the subject seriously. Later, at lunch, they sit together, and Molly again sees the same 2 women running outside, but no one believes her. After a while, Ruthie goes upstairs, checks a few rooms, and stops at room 324. She holds the master key and hesitates, but before she can open the door, Cal appears and asks why she is wandering in the cold upstairs. Ruthie looks confused, and Cal leads her away, asking questions. Cal also mentions Molly, saying Ruthie watches her strangely and interacts with her in odd ways. She reveals that she's worried because Ruthie has been acting peculiar since she saw her mother during the funeral, specifically regarding Ruthie's grandmother's death. Ruthie then reveals they found a buyer for the hotel. Cal becomes upset and tries to leave, but Ruthie stops her. She explains that she never wanted to return because she doesn't like the place. She tried several times to express this to Cal, but even so, she came for love. Ruthie asserts that she wants to keep an open mind, which is why she hasn't decided yet. She admits she made mistakes in the past, but now wants to fix everything. Hearing this softens Cal, and the 2 enjoy a quiet, comforting time together. Ruthie often watched the video of the woman in the red dress alone. This time, the woman seemed to speak directly to her, warning that running a hotel could be the worst choice. It's unclear whether this is real or just Ruthie's mind trying to distract her from the place. While Molly rests, she suddenly receives a message from Ruthie, asking her to meet her right now. She notices that Maddie is missing and goes out to look for Ruthie. As she moves through the hotel, she realizes that something is wrong. She sees a white liquid running down the walls and ceiling, the same 2 women running, and the same girl. She becomes terrified. Molly finally reaches Ruthie's room, where Ruthie and Cal are sleeping. Ruthie is wearing the mask. When she wakes up, she immediately takes Molly outside. Crying, Molly claims that the hotel's stories are true and they need to leave immediately. But Ruthie doesn't believe her. Molly then threatens to reveal something about Ruthie if they don't leave. Hearing the noise, Maddie and Cal arrive, and Molly continues to act desperately and erratically in front of them. Molly keeps crying, insisting that they all need to leave the hotel. The others assume her injury may have caused a fever and that she is exaggerating. Molly becomes irritated, and no one knows how to handle her reaction. Cal believes that Molly just wants attention, especially from Ruthie. Ruthie then states that she knows what to do. She goes to Molly and asserts that they will leave as she wishes. Molly immediately calms down and even apologizes to Cal, who still doesn't understand why. Before anyone can question anything, Ruthie orders them all to pack their bags. Minutes later, they leave the hotel together. The next scene reveals Molly waking up at a train station. Realizing the others abandoned her, she becomes furious and hurt, understanding that Ruthie and the others tricked her to get rid of her. Meanwhile, Cal, Ruthie, and Maddie return to the hotel, happy that Molly has gone and that they can enjoy their weekend. In the pantry, Maddie tells Cal that she likes her and asks why she is still with Ruthie, who cheated on her a long time ago. Cal ignores the comment. Moments later, Brian returns to the hotel, probably looking for Ruthie's mother. He enters, calls for her, and finds no one. Then he notices a girl in the hallway wearing a mask and holding a chainsaw. Brian assumes the masked girl is one of Ruthie's friends, so he ignores her and walks toward the kitchen, but she suddenly turns on the chainsaw and follows him. Before he can react, she strikes his arm, injuring his shoulder. In panic, he tries to flee, confused about the reason for the assault. He hides, but she continues to search for him. The next scene does not reveal what happens next. Meanwhile, Ruthie appears stressed as she is in the bar, Maddie and Cal find her, and Ruthie nervously mentions that Molly is back, and they need to leave because she saw something frightening. Maddie jokes that maybe Ruthie feels guilty for abandoning Molly, or that she's starting to see ghosts too. Maddie grabs Ruthie's phone and questions why she is always glued to it. She discovers repeated messages of "I love you" from Ruthie's mother, which seems strange. Ruthie quickly retrieves her phone. Her friends become irritated, and Cal warns her that she is ruining the weekend. Ruthie then searches for Molly online and discovers she was involved in a case concerning the death of her ex-girlfriend, although nothing has been proven. Later, while Maddie is alone in her room, she hears a noise. When she checks, she sees the masked girl in another room. Thinking it might be Ruthie, Maddie turns to leave, but the masked girl grabs her hand and hurts her. Hearing Maddie scream, Ruthie and Cal rush to her. Maddie's hand is severely injured, and she claims Ruthie is responsible. Ruthie says she was on the other side of the hotel. She shows Cal her phone, claiming she found online that Molly could be a murderer, but the phone is completely dead. Ruthie explains that the battery died and insists that Molly is still in the hotel, so they must leave. They start packing their bags to escape, but there are no taxis available. Then they receive a video showing Ruthie treating Molly's injured leg. Maddie and Cal realize the truth. Cal collapses, believing Ruthie cheated again. Ruthie blames Cal, saying she never wanted to go back and only came because Cal insisted. She confesses she was confused and made a mistake, but they no longer trust her. Pretending to wait for a car, Maddie and Cal lock Ruthie outside. Ruthie cries for them to open the door, explaining that Molly is inside and they need to leave. She looks for another entrance but finds none. After a while, the door opens by itself. Ruthie enters, calling for Cal, but neither Cal nor Maddie is there. Instead, she finds a woman in a red dress, the same woman whose videos Ruthie used to watch on her phone. Ruthie is shocked to see her and asks what she is doing there. The woman claims she is part of Ruthie's legal team, hired to assist her in selling the hotel, and she came to find her. As they talk, Ruthie's lawyers arrive and state that they found a buyer and just need her signature. Ruthie refuses to sell, disappointing them. With this decision, the woman in red sends them away. After they leave, she hugs Ruthie and says she trusts her. Ruthie comments that she resembles her mother, and the woman responds that if she were her mother, she would have never left her. She then exits, and Ruthie goes looking for Cal again. Meanwhile, Cal and Maddie are resting. They wake up to Ruthie's screams, rushing down to find Brian's body with Ruthie standing beside it. Thinking she killed him, Maddie tries to contain her. They tie Ruthie's hands and lock her in a room. Ruthie screams that Molly did everything, but they don't believe her. Maddie suggests they should wait for the police. Inside the room, Ruthie sees the girl again and panics. She runs to the bathroom, observing the same white liquid dripping. Tense about the moment, she removes her top and enters the bathtub to cool off. Inside the room, Maddie reflects on Brian's strange relationship with Ruthie's mother. She goes to his body and takes the keycard for room 324. Upon opening it, she discovers something macabre. The body of the woman in red is there, cruelly murdered, and it is revealed that the woman is Ruthie's mother. Knowing Cal is in danger, she rushes down the floors to save her. A moment later, Molly appears in the bathroom. Ruthie panics, but Molly says she returned for her and invites her out of the bathtub. When they reach the hallway, they stop to reconcile, but suddenly, without knowing the truth, Cal strikes Molly in the head. The frail woman is pushed by Ruthie out the window and falls to the ground injured. Molly tries to get up, but terrified with the truth being revealed, she loses her footing and falls into the dry pool. Unfortunately, hitting her head, she dies. Confused, Cal takes Ruthie outside and questions her about the events, eventually discovering that her partner has mental issues stemming from her mother's betrayal and acted compulsively and aggressively. To protect Cal, Maddie comes out with the chainsaw, but she can't start it. She throws it aside and instructs Cal to run. Ruthie takes the chainsaw and this time manages to turn it on. This reveals the truth. The masked girl was never Molly. It was Ruthie all along. Ruthie chases Cal and Maddie down the road with the intent to kill them. They fall, and Ruthie brutally attacks them. There are some people nearby, but none notice what is happening. contributing to the strange and confusing atmosphere of the film. Ruthie then returns to the hotel. In a room, she sees Brian and her mother together. When Ruthie approaches, her mother slams the door in her face and says she is busy. Shocked, Ruthie wanders the hotel corridor in a trance-like state. This indicates that she is eternally trapped in that place.